So let us recap what we did yesterday. Okay. So yesterday we talked about price list. Good evening, Mukti. So yesterday we talked about price list. And so yesterday we discussed and we maintained the prices in different ways. How do we enter the price? How do we maintain the price? We also talked about how do we have a discount groups. We talked about how we can have a special price for business partner. We also talked about how we can have agreements with the customers. So we have discussed and we talked about all those different type of price maintenance. And so yesterday, good evening, Gurudat. Yesterday, most of our discussion, good evening, Manju, Manjay, good evening to you. So yesterday, most of our discussion was revolving around sales price. Sales price is the price at which we are selling our items, our products to the customers. Then we have purchase price list. And the purchase price list is the price at which we are selling an item from the vendor. So yesterday we talked about sales price list. Okay. Today I also want to discuss about purchase price list. How do we enter purchasing as well? Good evening, Prabhat. Now, the one interesting part is the maintenance of the price, the maintenance of the different discounts, maintenance of the agreement. It's kind of very common, constant, similar on both sides. So if we understand sales pricing, same concept will apply for the purchasing pricing as well. Only difference is sales prices is there in the sales documents like sales orders and all that. And purchase price list is there in the purchasing documents. The rest of it is same. So conceptually, sales prices and purchase price list is same, is similar, is constant on both sides. So what I want to do today, we didn't do that purchasing part, so I want to cover the purchasing part as well. So what I want to do, I want to set up a new item master, and then I want to set up a base price list. Okay. And then I want to verify price in sales order, and I want to verify price in purchase order. Both sides. That is what I want to do today. So let us say I create an item master. I create any item, any material. So we have all these different items. And I want to create an item, and we call it FG01. Standard sales purchase item. We can give whatever description we want. We can choose material group. And here in item master, we have price list. Yeah? By default, there is a base price list. Then we have purchase price list. Then we enter unit of measure here. We enter the sales price list, sales data, inventory data. And if you see here that stock, nothing is there, available, nothing is there. And then planning data also, and then we edit. So see the message in the bottom, we create a material and that item is called FG01. Okay. Okay. So I want to set up the price list for this item. Before I do this price list for this item, FG01, so let us say I want to create a sales order. I select my customer, say microchips or whatever customer. I enter my item FG01, enter the quantity, and then if you see here, the price field is blank. Because this is a new item and we have not set up any price, that is why the price field is coming as blank. No price. Unit price is blank. If I go back and I create a purchase order and try to create a purchase order, and I go back to the purchase order, and we should see the same problem in the purchase order as well. So I select my purchase order, I enter my item FG01, and with this item I have a quantity, price blank. So no price coming in. Price is not coming because price field is not maintained, right? So same problem on both sides. We saw that problem. Would like to know if purchase order price also written over there? Yeah, this is price in purchase order. So this is the price in purchase order. Because when you're creating a purchase order, we need a price in the purchase order also. We close it Now I want to go back to the price list, and I want to go to the price list. I want to go to price list. This is the price list. And here we have all these different price lists: base price list, discount purchase price list, regular purchase price list, distributor sales price list. So we have all these different price lists here. And then we have something called base price list. I click on it. When I click, then I will see my item, which we created today, material, which is FG01. And this is my material, and see the field is blank here. And because the field is blank, therefore no price is coming. And if we enter, we can enter 1000. Okay. So we enter 1000. Then we update. So what we are doing is we enter the price 1000. We hit enter. We hit enter. Now, what is this basically means? Okay. So what is this basically means? If I want to create a purchase order now, and I want to go to purchase, I enter $1,000 in base price list. I go back to the purchase order. Okay. Okay. So here we select the vendor, Ekman Associates. We enter the price, FG01. We enter the quantity, and the unit price comes as 500 rupees. Why 500? In the price list, we enter 1000. Okay. So why 500? If I go back here and if I have a price source field, payment method, where is my price source? So I go to my form setting, table, price source, price source, yeah. So we added a price source field, and where it is, price source, price source. Too many fields. Yeah, this is the price source. So here the price source, it says active price list. Okay. Active price list. Okay. Now, from the active price list, I want to close this window. I want to go back to inventory. I want to go to price list, and here we have a different price list. Okay. Now, what is the basically meaning of it? So, okay. Now, I close this window as well. I want to go to purchase order as well. Then I want to go to this vendor. Now in this vendor, we have something called price list equals to discount purchase price. You see that? So in this business partner, Acme Associate, we have something called discount. Make a note of the discount purchase price. Okay, so we have discount purchase price, which is assigned to this vendor. And now I want to go to my price list and I want to see what is there in the discount price, purchase price list. So this is discount purchase price list. Now, what is the meaning of that? So if we see here, you see the default factor, 0.5. 0.5. Now, what does this basically mean? That basically means that there is a factoring. You see that every price there is a factor, 0.5, 0.75, 125, 0.5, 1.7, 1, 0.9. So this is a interesting calculation schema. This is interesting calculation schema. Let's look at carefully and understand what this basically means. That basically means I need to set up the price only in the base price. Okay. So other prices comes automatically. So I have a base price 1 and then discount price list. So because this vendor is assigned to the discount purchase price list and discount purchase price list is a 0.5 of the base. So my default price list is the base price list and default purchase price list is 50% of the base price list. That is why here we get the price 500. That is why we get a price here 500. So what we looked at it, we also verify the price in purchase order. We also verify calculation of purchase price as factor of base price. So what does that basically mean? My base price is $1,000 or rupees. And then my discount purchase price list is equals to 0.5 of base price. So what is my purchase price? So purchase price become $1,000 into 0.5 500. That is how. Now this is helpful in the data maintenance also. Can you please repeat base price list? I can't get it to 500 price. Sir, what would you like to know if in purchase order price also overwritten here? Yes, you can overwrite. Can you repeat? Yes, I can repeat also. Okay, let's understand here. It's interesting concept, little bit convoluted. When you will do in system, it will be much easier. So what we did, so we go to price list, right? So we have base price list, and then we have a discount purchase price list. In the base price list, now, if I go back to FG01, in the base price list, the base price is 1000. So in the base price list, base price is 1000. In base price list, base price is 1000. You got it? This is 1000 here. Now, if I close this, then I have a discount purchase price. Now, discount purchase price list is a 0.5 of the base. You see that here? Discount price list. Default price list is base, and the factor is 0.5. So that basically means if I go to discount price list, then all the prices is 0.5. See that here? FG01 in the discount purchase price list, FG01 base price list, factor of 0.5, base price is 1000, factor of 0.5, 1000 is base price, and discounted purchase price become 1000 multiplied by 0.5 become 500. Are we clear? We got it? समझ आया? Wonderful. Gagan, yes sir. Neeraj Gupta, yes. Okay, wonderful. So, yes sir, समझ आ गया. Wonderful. I know it's a convoluted topic a little bit, but see the best, what is interesting about of it, because you enter the price once, then other prices system automatically calculates. That is the meaning of it. Okay. So we discussed. Yeah, I know. SAP is a Sarati bacha. It takes time. Practice, 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 practice. Right? Read, read, read. So I tell a lot of people, practice makes men perfect. Practice does not make women perfect, because women are born perfect. It is the men which is the problem. It's all men who are fighting everywhere. So practice, read, read, read. Wonderful. Now, we understood this part. We close this. I didn't do it yesterday because I want to start today. So now for this same item, we close it. Now let us say I want to create a sales order. I select my customer. I select my item. Let us say I select the same item, FG01. Now FG01, this comes up 1000. This comes out 1000. Why this is coming out as a 1000? Because if I go to customer master, it depends upon what price list is associated where. So if I go back here in customer master, and this customer master has base price list. And then we can select other price list also. So because we have base price list, therefore in the sales order, we get 1000 itself. If I close this and if I let us say go to my inventory, if I go to price list, if I go to price list, and then we have a regular sales price list, which is 1.5% of it. So what I do, I go to my customer. So this is my customer, and this customer is assigned to my base price list. I change it to my regular sales price list, whatever that means. We save it. We change the price list assignment. Okay, so we change the price list assignment. So you can change. So one important thing is, so price list is assigned to a vendor master, whatever the price list is. In the price list is assigned to a customer master record also. So price list is assigned to a vendor master and the customer master. So whatever price list is assigned to vendor comes on the basis of that price comes into purchase order. And then whatever price list is assigned to a customer on the basis of which price comes in sales order. That is a fundamental principle. Make a note of these two bullet points, which I made a note here. Let's make a note of these 2 points. Your way of teaching is very effective. You know all the key points and their role. Wonderful. Thank you, Neeraj. I've been teaching for many years and doing SAP for many years. We purchase any item in 100 now and want to bill it my customer 20% plus means 1 or 2. I mean the same thing should apply on each item. Yeah, you can do a group discount and all that as well, or group surcharge. You can change the price. We will talk about that as well. So Neeraj, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate that. Okay. So make a note of these 2 bullet points, what we mentioned here. So now I want to create a sales order. So we create a sales order. We select the same customer, enter the item FG01, and now the price become how much? Do you see the notice? Do you see the difference? Now the price is 1,500. Why it is 1,500? Last time it was 1,000. Because if I go to this customer, and in the customer, if I see the net price list, now the price list I changed. Okay. So now I change the price list. I make it regular sales price list. And because it is a regular sales price list, and what is regular sales price list? I close all these windows, and then I go to price list, I go to inventory, I go to price list, I go to price list, and this is regular sales price list. And what is regular sales price list? 1.5 times of the base price. If I double click on it, if I scroll down, and we have FG01, and what is the price? 1,500. So that is how system calculates the price. And that is the concept of the price list. And there are different versions of that. 1.5, that is correct. 1.5. So can we change the discount price list? Yes, you can change any price list. You can do mass change also. You see that price update wizard. Okay. So we can update prices also. Now one more thing which I want to do, which we didn't do yesterday. So yesterday we did the sales agreement, and today we want to do purchase agreement. So yesterday we did a sales agreement, and today we want to do purchase agreement. Wonderful. We just want to learn how to create a purchase agreement. So this is a purchase blanket agreement. And Control A, I select my vendor, payment term, shipping type, okay. And then start date, end date. So this is for 1 year. So it's starting from this date to this date. So this is test agreement. We close on it. And we have FG01. We have plant quantity, whatever, 2,500. Price, and then there is an agreement, and we say approved, and then we add. See the message in the bottom. See the message in the bottom. Operation completed successfully. So in the bottom of it, we get to see the blanket agreement. So we go back. This is my agreement number. We created today, 10/15/2020. And if I want to copy, I can copy purchase order. So we go copy, and it will copy purchase order. Quantity, it copies from there. So we say quantity 100 pieces. Origin is agreement. And then it copies a different price. And then we save it. So what we did, so we basically learned creation of purchase agreement and then create purchase order with reference to purchase agreement. Okay, so that is what we did. So that is our exercise. Okay, so creation of the purchase agreement. Wonderful. Sir, if you make an agreement and save it, if I want to add something to that agreement, can we add it? See, a lot of these documents, right? A lot of these documents you can change. Unless the document is not closed, you can change it. If you see this agreement here, you see that agreement? So this is agreement. So here we approve. You can even renew also. You see the renewal button. And then let us say I want to change something here. So a lot of things can be changed here. So let us say my contact person, I want to change it from Rana to Sarah. I want to enter, my contact person. So many things you can change, but changes are a little bit subjective because after certain stages, certain changes are not allowed. So answer, a lot of these changes you can do, but then a lot of changes are not able to do because of adding different quantity. Okay. So see the message, you cannot change the team line blanket agreement, which is assigned. So you cannot change it, certain things. Certain things you can change. So there are certain restrictions to the changes, always, case by case basis. Okay. Some changes you can do, some changes. Now I added ABCD vendor reference. Vendor don't have any problem with that. Okay. If I, let's say, have a test agreement, this is a test agreement, and I want to say this is our long-term agreement, and we update. It allows you. So it is subjective. Certain changes are allowed and certain changes are not allowed. Okay. There is a termination date. If you want to terminate, you can terminate this agreement as well. So that is what this basically means. Is there a case in which a single agreement may have a multiple items with a different discount? You can, discount is always by the price, you can define the price agreements, you can have a price by the agreement, by item group. So yesterday, we talked about the discount group and all that. So we can assign those to those customers. So on the basis of that, you can select. So you need to have a discount group assigned to it. Creating a price list. So how do we create a price list? So there are different ways of creating price lists. This is where we end yesterday. So how do we create a price list? We can maintain price lists. We saw that. And then we also saw yesterday that price list is assigned to the item. Price list is assigned to business partner. We saw that yesterday also, and we can see that today as well. So we close that here. And then if you go to inventory, if you go to item master, now here we have price list field. If I go to business partner, then in the business partner also, there is a price list field. So item master and the price master are assigned to payment price list. That is what we see, that item master assigned to price list, business partner assigned to price list. Now in business partner, it could be customer, it could be a vendor, or it could be both. SAP provides you price list, and you can also add, change, delete your price list also. Okay. So that basically means if I go to price list here, if you go to inventory, if I go to price list, if I go to price list, so all these price lists are there, right? And then if you want to add your own price list as well, you can add your price list as well. You can add row. You can create a new price list also. See that? New price list. And you can give any description you want to give. So this is a seasonal sales price list. And you can define this seasonal and is based upon season. This is 1.5% of your previous. So you can define those different price lists. So you can create your price list, you can define your price list, you can create a new price list. Now, way to create a price list. So how do you update the price list? Yeah? So you can import from Excel sheet. So let's say you have thousands of items. So obviously you can go manually, just like we go manually, we enter it, that's fine. Second, we can import from Excel sheet. And there is also something called data transfer workbench. Data transfer workbench is SAP Business One's tool to upload all your different transactions. The data transfer workbench is used to, or can be used to upload customers, vendors, items, inventory balances, opening balances, prices. So data transfer workbench can be used for any of these different transactions. You can also import from Excel as well. Yeah? So when we say import from Excel, that basically means what? So in SAP, if we close it, if you go to export here, there is a data import and export. So there is a data import. If I go to data import, and there is a data import from Excel, and here we can import business partner. You can also import information for the price list as well. So those are some of the methods which you have. How do you create a price list? We already saw. You know, we can you can go to inventory, you go to price list, you can update the price list, you can add a price list. So we can define multiple price lists. SAP provides a standard price list out of the box. If you want to add a new price list, you can always add a new price list. Yeah, that's what I mentioned, right? Auto created. There are 10 price lists. SAP provides 10 price. SAP Business One provides 10 price lists. Those normally come in the default based upon the country localization, all that. SAP Business One provide 10 price lists out of the box in most countries. And then you can also add and change and delete your price list. Okay. So this is the menu path for creating price list. We have already gone multiple times, inventory, price list, and create price list. I just showed it to you. How can you create a new price list? Now this also we discussed before, base a price list on another price list. Make a note of that term. We discussed that already. In the beginning of my conversation, this is what the exercise we did. Base a price list on another price list. Now what is the meaning of that is? So here we talked about the factor, we talked the factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, 1.5, 1.6, and we saw that factor also, right? So now what is the factor basically means? This is the default factor, and we saw that before also. Look at carefully. So if we go here, if I go to inventory, if I go to price list, if I go to price list, and here we have it, default factor. You see that? Default factor. And that is what we see here in the PDF. Default factor. So it's a 2.0, 1.0, and that is what we see in our exercise is a 0.5. So what happens is, because the default factor is 0.5, so whatever you have on the base price list, that much price get reduced. So that become 500. And then when we use the regular sales price list, then my price become 1500 because the factor is 1.5 of the base. So base is 1000. And multiplied by 1.5, it becomes 1,500. Okay, so that is what regular price list and other price lists basically works based upon calculation of the factor. Okay, that is what we see it, factor. Drill down basically means when you double click on the price list. So like any price list, you see the double click, it goes to it. If you want to go to a small account price list, double click on it, go to it. So on the right hand side, we can anywhere you can double click and we can go, right? So that is called double click, drill down to the price detail, double click. So when you double click, it goes to the next screen, opens the detailed window. So drill down to the price detail. So when we click on this, it opens every item 1, 2, 3, their price, discount. That is what we see, like the base price. We double click on it, then we go to item, description, and other information related to that. So it comes out a double click. That's why you see that here, double click. When you double click on the line item, it opens the information. Now there is also something called drill down to unit of measure prices. Sometimes we talked about unit of measure. Now, what is the basically meaning of that? If you remember, we did an exercise related to unit of measure. Now, what was that exercise in which we enter multiple unit of measure? Remember when we used to do SAP last week, many years back? Remember we talk about that. Alternative unit of measure. Anybody? किसी को याद है? Alternative unit of measure that we used to do before, many years back, last week. So we have FG02. Remember we entered the A4 size paper, and in this A4 size paper, we saw that we have a unit of measure as a paper. In the unit of measure paper, we talked about we can have a pack, we can have a small pack, 6-pack, carton, pallet. That is what we see, pack, 6-packs, carton, pallet. So now if you have, and then we talk about the base quantities, a small pack is 1 piece, 6-pack is a 6 packs, 1 into 6, carton has a 24 packs, and then pallet has 48 packs. So we talked about, this is my item group definition. So this is the unit of measure because one item can have a multiple unit of measure. Okay. So if I go back here, this is my item. If I double click on it, then it opens up base unit of measure prices, and that is the screen you will see here. Drill down to the base unit of measure price if you have alternative unit of measure which is defined. That is what we see here, and that is what you see here on your screen, because you might have a different price. Now, why we are talking about this here though, okay? Now, why we are talking about this here is, look at here now. So what we are saying is, okay, if you're buying a pack, this is my price, 2 rupees per pack. But if you buy a 6-pack, then I'm gonna give you 5% discount. If you're buying a 1 carton, because 1 carton is a 24-pack, I will give you 15% discount. So discount can change by more and more quantity. You buy more, you get a better price. So you get a pack, you get a $2. If you get a 6-pack, you get a 5% discount. If you buy a carton, you get a 15% discount, because you buy more quantity, you get a better price. So that is what basically means unit price based upon unit measure of group. What is the meaning of that is? Meaning of that is, if you buy more quantity, you get a better price. So that basically means I can tell him that, okay, if you are buying 6-pack, you get a 10% discount. If you're buying a carton, you can get a 15% discount. If you're buying in a pallet, then you get 20% discount, because you buy more price quantity, you get better prices. Okay, that is what this screen basically means. That is what we see here. Maintain unit of measure prices, because you give a price by a unit of measure. You give a more price. There is something also called copy reduced by percentage. Copy reduced by percentage is, so where is it first and foremost? So if you see here, so, and if I, let us say, update here, you see the copy reduced by. You see that there is a copy reduced by. We have a copy reduced by. Now, if I hit in this copy reduced by, somebody was asking for mass. Yeah. So what is the basically meaning of that? That basically meaning of that is that if I am using this unit of measure in many different items, so if you want the same item group from this item to this item, because I might have a 5,000 item, I don't want to go and update every item one by one. It's too much of a time consumption. So here we can take the same pricing, and because I have a season, I'm going into let us say in Diwali, so I'm giving it this discount to all these items. So that is why we see copy unit of measure reduced by selection criteria. That is what you see here. Copy unit of measure reduced by selection criteria. So that basically means all items belong to same unit of measure group. So wherever you see pallet, wherever you see carton, wherever you see unit of measure, if the same discount applies, you can change the price to all items in cartons. So means any item you're buying in carton, you get a 20% discount. Any item, if you're buying a box quantity, you get 10% discount. Any item you're buying into large box, you get 30% discount. So by the unit of measure, you can give a discount to every different item. That is what it basically means. Price list validity. So every price list has a validity period. So when you go to the price list, so let's say I close this button, I close this, close this. So if you see the price list here, there is a valid from valid to. Because sometimes you might have a seasonal price list. this price list only apply at the time of Diwali for 15 days. This only apply at the time of Holi for 10 days, or whatever the season is. So based upon your seasonality, Holi or Diwali or whatever, you can apply a different seasonal price. If you don't put a validity date, that basically means this is available forever. So you can put a validity date. So you can have a price list validity. If you want to restrict, you can restrict those price list validity. There is also active inactive button as well. See that here? If you don't want that price list anymore, I don't want to use it, because it's not that all the price lists apply all the time. So I make it inactive. I'm not going to use this price list. I'm not going to use this price list. So whatever price list I don't want, I can inactivate. That price list will not apply during that time period. So there is a active and inactive button as well. You can also have additional currencies. So you can have additional currencies. So there is a primary currency, then there is secondary and tertiary. So there you can have three currencies parallelly. Because sometimes you want to put additional currencies here. If you see here, so I can say my primary currency is Indian rupees. Then I can say my additional currency is US dollar, and my third currency is euro. So I can have one currency which is a primary currency, which is the currency of your company. But apart from that currency of your company, you can also have two additional currencies as well. So now we have two additional currencies, which is US dollars and euro. So that is what we see here. You can additional currency 1, additional currency 2. Okay, so we can have additional currencies. System maintained price list. So there are several price lists now, which is provided by SAP. Somebody was asking that question also. Does SAP provide the price list? Yes, SAP provide default price list. It says 10, sometimes more, sometimes less. It depends upon the country and all that. But there are standard price lists which are there in the system all the time. And of course, you can create your own price list as well. You can make them active. You can make them inactive. You can also have a validity period. This price list is only seasonal, apply only for the Diwali. This only apply for Holi or whatever. Now here, we also have something called system maintained price list. In the system maintained price list, we have two price lists automatically maintained. See that word, automatically. There is Harry Potter in SAP. So SAP has an inherent inbuilt Harry Potter. Or Bikram Betal. Now what is the two price lists? Last evaluated price list, and second is the last purchase price. Where is that? Now look at it here. This is last purchase price list, and this is last evaluated price, and then we have last purchase price. Now what is the meaning of this and what is the difference in this? Where is this last evaluated price and last purchase price come into the picture? Let's understand them. Last evaluated price updated by inventory revaluation. So periodically we can run inventory valuation. Remember, we talk about inventory can have a value. So every inventory can have an inventory value, and you can revalue. You can again revalue. I have this price $10 and after that it becomes $15. So that is called inventory revaluation. And if you do the revaluation, then system create and update the price called last evaluated price. Then you have something called last purchase price. Last purchase price basically means system takes what was last purchase price updated when an item entered inventory with the original price. So that basically means when you are entering a purchase order, so last purchase price is automatically updated when an item is entered in inventory. So when you do good receipt or any good movement, system update the price. Now last purchase price list come from where? This update happen auto-magically. Harry Potter, Bikram Betal, and it happens from AP, account payable. So when we do account payable invoice, from that invoice, based upon whatever is the price in that invoice for that material, price get updated in this. This keeps an historical history of the different purchase prices. So if somebody wanted to go back and see, well, what was last PI? You can go back and check into last purchase price list. This update automatically. Configuration. So there is something called in system administration, systemization, general setting, price list or pricing tab is inactive price list. So what it basically means, display zero price in the document if price source is based on an inactive price list. Now what does that basically mean? So it basically means if in the purchase order we determine a price list which is inactive, then we want that price to show up as zero because inactive price cannot be and should not be referred. There is a small setting in the purchasing tab where it is. So we go to configuration. Do you want to say no? So we go to administration, system initialization, general setting, and here we have pricing, and here we have display zero price in document if price source is based upon inactive. For example, if you have price list and if that price list is inactive, do not use that. Same thing for a special price. Same thing for period and volume discount. That is what this basically means here. Setting of the price list. Summary. Okay. I have a good news. I have a good news. What is the good news? Samachar समाप्त हुए. News is over. We will talk tomorrow, same time, same place, same channel. All India Radio. Thank you all, and we'll talk. Thank you so much. Thank you all, and good night. And we'll talk tomorrow. India Kavara. It's all Corona situation. I come India very often, but because of Corona, I'm not able to come. So once the Corona situation is settled, I will come. I keep coming very often. Okay, thank you guys. Please take care. Bye. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Bye guys.